a seated position from the edge of a bed. We had a couple of requests in the past couple of days about how to adjust to do our live workout for somebody who needs to be seated. And so we're going to try and do a bunch more from a slightly modified position. If you know the live and you know what workout we're trying to do, go ahead and do the workout that you prefer. Otherwise, we're going to get started, and we're going to get started with some hip cars. But before we do that, I gotta do the intro. We do 60-ish minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of a community. Because stretching and, all fitness at some point is just exhausting. It's kind of stressful, and your body hurts. So, we try to make it a little bit more fun, a little less unbearable, a little bit more bearable. And we try to do that with some good vibes, both from me and also in the chat. I hope you enjoy. Let's get ready to do some hip cars. Usually we do hip cars standing, and it looks like this. We're lifting the knee as high as possible. We're opening up the hip as wide open as possible. We're rotating the leg, and we're bringing it back into this position. Today, we're going to try and do something from a kneeling position, all right? Hip cars can also look a little bit like this. If you get on all fours and try to get here, we can still do that high knee by bringing the knee up as high as we can into the chest. We can lift that leg directly to the side. Lift, 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 lift. If you do some other movement practices, this might be called a fire hydrant. From here, we're going to rotate that leg. We're going to bring the ankle up as high as you can while keeping everything else stable. We're going to bring the leg down and back. But in this case, it's up and behind. And I'm going to totally mess up the wording on this. But this is the same general set of muscles that we're using. We're just using it from a different position. That might be a little bit easier if you're struggling with balance. This might be the setup to go for. All right, let's go. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. High knee, open, ankle up. Oh, this time it's like really ankle up, up and behind, high knee, open, ankle up and behind, high knee, open, ankle up and behind. Oh, I just realized I can have my knee hang off of this thing, so it's a little easier to do because I'm squishing into the bed a little bit. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. But now I'm completely cut off of the camera. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. 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 I have no idea how many of these we've done, but I'm pretty sure we've done 10. Let's move on to the other side. Whew. Okay. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, technically up and behind. High knee, open, ankle 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 up and behind. This time around, I have also not kept track of how many we've done, but I feel like we're at least at 8. High knee, open, ankle up and behind. High knee, open, ankle up and behind. That is probably 10. We're ready to move on. Whew. Next up, we're going to do them in reverse. Remember, these are called hip cars, and the goal of them are to move your hips and get maximum range of motion out of that hip joint, out of that hip socket, while building up a little bit of strength so that you get both at the same time. If you're just joining in for the first time, we're doing 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. Today we're doing a small adjustment so you can stay seated, stay on something soft and cushiony, perhaps from a bed, and get the whole workout in. Whew. If you're into fitness and hip mobility and stretching, stick along and follow along. Let's go. We're going to do hip cars going backwards. Backwards might actually be easier to start than going forwards. Now that I'm thinking about it, let's go. We're going to bring the leg down and back. In this case, it's just behind us. Lift that leg behind you. Flex those hamstrings, flex those glutes. Feel the stretch here in the front in the hip flexor. From here, we're going to open up the leg directly to the side. It can look like this, but then I want you to rotate that leg so the ankle is coming up. Then rotate it so that your ankle is very horizontal, and bring it to the front. That is our end position. So we're going backwards, we're opening, we're lifting the ankle up, bring the ankle to horizontal, and bring it down. If you have been doing our normal lives for a long time, and you're like, wait, I'm so confused. How are these leg positions making any sense? Don't worry, I'm also confused. And what am I talking about? Horizontal. Usually that's our starting position, but now that we've rotated 90 degrees, is our ending position. What the heck? Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. This is 5, 6, 7. Based on how my hips are feeling, I'm pretty sure that was way not 5, but let's go 9. Last one, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 10. Okay. Oh. I think because we're using the muscles in a slightly different way this time around, because we're rotated forward, my hip muscles are already super tight. So I'm starting to understand how people who are joining in for the first time are starting to feel in their hips new muscle discomfort, because the range is different. When we're standing up and we do a high knee, there's a little less core, right? But when we're in this position on our hands and knees and we do a high knee, to really pull it up, I feel like there's way more core activation. But in general, I guess if you're on your hands and knees, there's way more core activation. All right, we got one last leg. Let's go. Am I even doing the right leg? What have we done? All right. Again, bring the leg back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull that knee up into the air. Feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. Rotate the leg directly to the side. Bring that ankle up as high as you can. Bring the ankle all the way down and bring it forward. That is 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I think that's 5, 6, 7, 8, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, 9, go up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Okay. All right, I'm starting to break a sweat. This is kind of intense. All right, that is hip curls. This is the first of our 8 exercises that we're going to do. The first 3 are warm-up exercises with a lot of movement. The last 5 are mostly stretches, so they're a little less cardio. We just finished the first one, called the hip curls. We're going to move on into stretch number 2, the elephant walk. I think for this one, it probably makes the most sense to stand, but for the purposes of the goal of making an adjusted version, I'm going to do a little bit of both. We're going to do a seated version of the elephant walk. Sit on something relatively low. We're going to fold and try and bring our belly buttons forward and towards the ground. And I want you to sort of slowly experiment with straightening and bending your knees from here. Actually, there's a lot of sliding going around. Maybe the elephant walk isn't a good one for this. Let's go back to regular elephant walk. We're folding forward, get into that L shape, trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground, feeling that low back stretch right at the get-go, and from here, breathe. Feel the hamstring stretch starting to build slowly, and now we're going to start bending one knee and one leg at a time. One knee is bent, one leg is straight. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down. Switch. Knee, 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 Your hamstrings are going to be really tight. Your glutes are going to be really tight for a second here, and that is absolutely okay. We want to keep on going and get to the point where suddenly things start feeling a little bit easier, things start feeling a little bit smoother, and it might take a little bit. That is okay. One knee at a time. Keep on bringing that belly button low to the ground and breathe. After you've done a couple of seconds of this, hopefully your hamstrings are loosening up. Hopefully the low back tension is gone. Maybe you're feeling like some weird shiftiness in your leg. That is probably because your hamstrings, we call them one thing, but they have 3 muscles going through the back, and one of them is a bicep, which means one end splits into 2 like a slingshot, and all those things are getting stretched out and then kind of rubbing all over each other in your leg while you're doing these. So that could be it. Whew. When you're doing this, you might feel a little bit of tingliness in your toes, in your calves. That is pretty normal as well. If you're going to Google something about it, it's often called nerve flossing. So you can go ahead and check that out. But that is that's our second warm-up exercise, part 1. We're going to take that position that we were just doing with the bent knee and the straightened leg, and we're going to turn it into some rotation for the spine. All right, we're going to take this bent knee, this straight leg, we're going to reach across the body. We're going to push open our chest to the side and extend the arm behind us and breathe. We're going to do the same for the other side. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight, right hand reaches to the left ankle, push and open up that chest. My back just cracked in like 3 places, so I needed it. Reach the arm behind you, look at that hand, and come back down. We're going to do 5 of these in total. So, we got 4 more to go. Let's go. Open, and reach, and down, and open, and reach, and down. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight, push against the right leg, open up the chest, and come on down. Right leg is straight, left leg is straight, and open up that chest. I think that's 3, 4, last one, and 5. That is some thoracic rotation. If your back is feeling a little looser, your shoulders are a little bit more tired, good, because that's all we got for those. We're going to move on into some Cossack switches. This is the 3rd and final warm-up exercise. And for the Cossack switches, I intended to do some version of them in the bed, but the bed seems a little bit squishy, so maybe I won't do that. I think I'm going to do them right here on the floor, and the angle's going to get cut off a little bit because I'm in a door frame that is a little bit awkward. So we're just going to have to make do. From here, we are trying to sit into a deep squat position. So if you have something that you're leaning against, that's good. That's nice. We can hang out right here. I want you to hug your knees to your chest for a moment, and I want you to kind of just tuck, 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 tuck. Get nice and tight and compact. From the side, you might want to get into a position that kind of looks like this. And I want you to really focus on bring your chest down to your knees, so you're folding at the hip, and breathe. You might also want to be in a position where your ankles are slightly up off the ground, because that means you're stretching them out and leaning forward. From here, we are just chilling for a little bit. Then we're going to move on into some Cossack switches. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. We are trying to squat deep into one leg, and we're going to try our best to keep the heel down on the ground when we do it. This position is going to be really difficult for most people to get into, so you're going to be probably a little bit higher up, and that is absolutely okay. All right, from here, we're going to try and keep our butts as low as possible, use our hands, put them on the ground if we need to, and bring our butts over to the other side. Since I don't have that much space, you're going to just have to watch me awkwardly shuffle as we do this. Once we bring our hips to the other side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to do 10 reps side to side, and that's how we're going to finish it up. Cool? So if you have been somehow seated in your little tucked position this whole time, great. If you haven't, because you've been following along, that probably makes the most sense because I didn't tell you to. We're going to continue, and we're going to do some Cossack switches once this camera gets adjusted. Do 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 do. Little dance. Can you rotate more? Yes, there we go. That's too much. That's fine. Okay, cool. We'll continue. From here, we're getting to some Cossack switches. So, once again, we are sitting our butts down as low as we can with the heel down on this side. If you're struggling a little bit with that and you're still a little bit higher up, totally fine, totally okay. You can put your hands down to help bring your hips over to the other side. And I want you to sit back just a little bit. Try to get small and squish deep, just like the stretch we were doing earlier. We're going to do 10 reps. Right side, left side. That's 1. Right side, left side. 2. Right side, left side. 3. And remember to breathe as you go. Take them nice and gentle. If you're feeling a little bit of achiness in your knees, I recommend you start by going up first, then across. Sit back down, chill for a second, come back up, scoot your hips over, and then sit back down. Because sometimes that is all you need to do to make the knees feel a little bit better. And we care about your knees not hurting. So add that in if that helps. And I think we're at 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are some Cossack switches. Oh, okay. We are done with our warm-up exercises. If you're feeling really tired right now, your knees are tired, your low back is tired, everything's feeling tired, that's okay. The goal was to get your heart rate up, to get your blood pumping, to get your muscles warmed up so that we can get into the stretches and have the stretches be effective. So if you're a little bit tired, that's actually probably a really good sign. Don't worry, because when I say this is just the warm-up, a lot of people go, oh, what? This is just the warm-up? This is crazy. There's more? What we're going to do next is a whole bunch of stretches. So you don't need all the cardio because there's no more cardio. Cool? The first stretch that we're going to do is a hamstring stretch. And the hamstring stretch is going to look a little bit like this. We're going to drop one knee to the ground. We're going to extend one leg in front. We're going to fold our belly button down towards our thigh. We're going to try and breathe, relax, chill, and see if we can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. For this, I don't have a cushion to use, so I'm going to use the bed and see how that goes. Go ahead and get into a position of your choice. You can absolutely 100% do this with a little bit of foam under your knee, or no foam under your knee if you choose, and on the floor. I'm going to just give it a shot on the bed to see if this is a valuable version of the stretch, and I'll let you know. All right, from here, take a wide enough stance so that you can stay balanced, and we're bringing the belly button down to the thigh. It seems like everything is fine for the moment. Take some normal breaths. Try to just relax because you should be feeling quite a bit of tension in your hamstrings. And when those hamstring muscles here have chilled out a little bit, we're going to take a nice big inhale. We're going to slowly exhale. And as we exhale, we're going to try to fold our belly button down to the thigh. All right? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. You can massage that hamstring if you'd like. Take some normal breaths. Try your best to relax. I know your whole body's going, tension, tension, tension. This is crazy. But when you take some normal breaths, hopefully, it'll send some signals to let your body chill out. This is okay. This is fine. All right, we're going to take one more inhale, exhale, and try to fold a little bit deeper, and then we'll be ready to do 30 seconds. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. And keep on taking those normal breaths. Relax for a second. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Remember, this is about the belly button coming down to the thigh. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up out of that stretch. If it was really intense, then you probably did it right. Switch the legs, rotate around, and we're going to keep going and get the other side. All right. Again, we're extending one leg out in front of us. This back leg is basically straight up. You can get into something that looks more like a front split with the leg going backwards. You don't have to. We're focusing on the hamstring stretch. Cool? From here, we're going to fold forward, bring that belly button down to the thigh, and take some normal breaths. Your hamstring is going to tighten up way tight. Everything's cool. Everything's chill. We're just breathing normal breaths, and okay, we're going to do the inhale, exhale. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. That's a stretch. Okay. I think one of the cons of doing this on a bed is that depending on how you distribute your weight, you kind of squish more or less into one side. So I think at the moment, I'm going to recommend that you stay in not a bed when you do this, even though it's soft and squishy, is not very useful for this particular stretch. It doesn't hurt the stretch that much, but it doesn't make it that much easier. Cool? All right, let's keep going. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Inhale, exhale, fold. Your hamstrings, your calves, everything's tightening up a little bit more. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. When we're doing the 30 seconds, you are free to do whatever you want. You can just chill in this position and hang here. You can try to do more inhales and exhales and see if you want to get any deeper. And that's all cool. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, but keep on breathing. Don't hold your breath. 14, that does not help. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our hamstring stretch. Oh, man, that was brutal. All right, we're going to move on to stretch number 2. It's called the butterfly stretch. And you can do this right in front of something like a bed or a couch or a wall. I actually recommend you do this in front of a wall so that your shoulders and your head have a little bit of support when you lean back. But since I'm here, I'm going to make do with just as little bit up to my mid-back. All right? The butterfly stretch looks a little bit like this. We're bringing our legs into this position where our feet are touching each other and our hips are opened up. We're going to bring our knees in to our we're going to bring our feet in towards our groin muscles, and the goal is to stretch out these muscles here in the center of our body. The way we do that is by bringing the knees down into the ground. All right? I want you to use your outer thigh muscles, your glutes, to help pull those legs open, and I want you to really lean into the cushion or the wall behind you so that you can focus on opening up those legs. All right? From here, once you've opened up your leg as much as possible and they're not going any further down and your muscles are all working, take your hands, apply a little bit of pressure to those legs. When you do this, you might want to feel like you're falling backwards a little bit. You're slipping away. If you have a wall behind you, the wall will keep you in place and allow you to keep on pushing on your legs. If you have a little bit of back support, but not too much, you're going to have to work a little harder to keep yourself balanced while pushing the legs down. Cool? That's it. That's the whole stretch. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, relax. Oh, this is definitely a way better stretch if you have a wall or something sturdy to lean against. In my case, I guess, could have done it right here. And when you're pushing against your legs from this position, notice how the back isn't able to go anywhere, and it's easier to apply force into your legs. But the camera angle would have been really difficult for that. While I'm here, I'm going to check the comments a little bit. I'm going to adjust one of these cameras so it's a little bit more centered. Okay. I feel pain in the... Ooh, elbows on 121. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I feel like I'm in pain. I'm in the back of my... Okay, hold on. That's a typo. I feel pain in down of my back. Ooh, all right. I don't know when that came in. Did that come in super early? Do we know? No? On YouTube, somebody asked, I feel pain down in my back. It was during the hamstring stretch. Okay, if you're feeling pain in the low back when you're doing the hamstring stretch, that probably means your low back is doing a lot of work. When we're in this stretch, most of the focus should be folding at the hips. And it might seem like the low back is doing a lot here, but the hips are where all of the stress should be, and it should be coming from the hamstrings. If your low back is hurting, then I want you to hop into a quick position that looks like this, where you're just draped over your legs. There should be no tension in the spine. You're not really stretching out your hamstrings, so this shouldn't feel intense. I want you to notice if your low back is still in discomfort. If you're currently in discomfort, then you should definitely stop doing the rest of the life. But if this general position is highly uncomfortable for you, then you probably need to do some low back rehab and go check that out, because I don't think anything in our life is going to make it much worse, but it's also not going to make it much better. And it might just make you uncomfortable. So you should probably not continue with the life if you have some sort of low back pain that you're feeling during the hamstring stretch. Cool? All right. Let's see. What else we got? We just finished the butterfly stretch. That's the second of our 5 stretches. We're going to move on to stretch number 3, and it's the standing pancake or the seated pancake. Luckily, we got a really low seat, so the seated pancake might work really well today. For the seated pancake or the standing pancake, the goal is to open up the legs pretty wide, and it's to fold at the hips and bring your chest down towards the ground. And get into a pretty squished looking position like so. So to get here, you can make the choice whether you're going to sit or stand. Sit or stand. And the standing variation is going to be a little bit harder because you have to hold your own body weight up with your inner thigh muscles, right? From this position, if you're opening up your legs deep, these muscles are pulling together so your legs don't slip out. And that's going to be a little bit more challenging than if you sat down and relaxed those muscles a little bit. So you get to choose. I recommend trying both, and I do enjoy usually doing the standing pancake because you get to train your inner thigh muscles. The stronger they are, the easier it will be to get into a deeper stretch, to have control over a stretched position, but you don't have to start there. If you're sore from yesterday, if you've done other workouts and you're a little bit tired, the seated position is a perfect place to be. So let's continue from seated. Again, we're trying to open up our legs decently wide. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be insane. Just opening up. The goal here is to fold forward at the hips. Your low back should be relatively straight, and we're trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground. Whew. You might feel like your head is going upwards at an angle, and that's fine. Everybody's got a different starting point, and it's absolutely a-okay. And depending on the height of the seat that you've chosen, it will change the angle of the rest of your body, right? If we were seated on the ground in this position, and we're folding forward, I'm almost completely straight up at a 90-degree angle, right? Let's continue. Bring the belly button down. Extend the arms in front of your head to make it even tougher. And we're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. Remember to breathe. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I'm going to navigate into a standing pancake. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that pancake stretch. If you did it right, your inner thighs, your hamstrings are probably all struggling a little bit right now. And all you can do is breathe, chill, give it some time, move a little bit, squirm. Come on out of that stretch. We're going to move on into the fourth stretch. The fourth stretch is either a figure four or a pigeon stretch. In both, generally, we're doing this. We're bringing the ankle across the body, and we're trying to get real small and compact by bringing that leg to our chest and that chest down to our leg. The thing we actually care about is the belly button folding downwards, but it definitely looks like our chest is coming down. All right. When we do this, we want to feel the stretch here in the outside of the glute, in the outside of the hip. And for the figure four stretch, you can definitely make yourself more comfortable by doing this in bed. But you can also do the same for the pigeon stretch. So I think yesterday we did pigeon from the park. So today we'll do some figure four, I guess, from bed. We're laying on our backs, so you get to chill for a second. We're going to cross our leg over our bodies. We are going to take our hands, throw them through the triangle we just made, wrap around the other leg. We're going to pull this leg to our chest, and you're going to start feeling the stretch immediately, possibly in the hamstrings and also here in the hip. All right, let's go. Pull that in. Breathe. We're holding this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. If you're lying in bed or laying on the floor right now, you might feel like it's time to take it chill, to relax. Don't do that. I mean, you can relax some of your muscles, but your hip muscles, your leg muscles are getting the work in. Pull on that knee, pull your leg in, and keep on breathing. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, relax, breathe, chill for a second, and let's continue. Other side. Again, we just did the left leg, but you probably did whatever leg you wanted, so do the other leg. Cross the leg over to the other side, and we are getting into that stretched position. You might notice that one leg is more stiff than the other side, and that is okay, that is normal. Pull the legs in and chill, relax, breathe. Hold them for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. If the stretch suddenly feels easy, keep on pulling. Pull a little harder. Pull your legs towards your chest. If your knees are feeling a little bit achy, unstable, unsupported, you can cup the knee, give it a little bit of support, and keep on pulling. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is 4 of our 5 stretches. We are coming on up into our 5th and final set of stretches. The 5th stretch that we're going to do is the side splits. And they're tough. So I hope you're ready. Every stretch that we've done prior to this, every warm-up exercise that we did prior to this was to open up our hips, to warm up our muscles, to pre-stretch some of the muscles that we need in the side splits. So now that we're getting into the side splits, you are prepared to struggle. Yes, that's the side splits. Let's get into them. I recommend if you're just starting out, you haven't quite figured out the technique or the balance, then you have something nice and soft that you can sort of fall into. It's not super important because your likelihood of falling backwards isn't that high, but I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel secure. I want you to feel like you're not going to hurt yourself, right? Usually, I recommend you go up to a wall and do the side splits in front of a wall. You can't see this wall. It's just barely in frame, but if you start falling backwards and there's a wall behind you, the wall will catch you and it'll keep you safe, right? If you start slightly in front of the wall and you start falling backwards, the wall will be there to catch you and keep you safe. If you have a couch that's against a wall and you don't have enough wall space directly, the couch will do. You'll probably get into something like this. You're just adjusting and then you lose balance and then you fall backwards onto the couch, in this case onto a bed, and everything will be a-okay. We just don't want you to fall and have your butt slam 3 feet into the ground and really, really, really hurt your tailbone. Cool? Other than that, making your environment feel safe, feel secure, feel like you're not going to hurt yourself is really important because we want you to reduce the tension in your muscles to stretch out. If you're really tense, if you're struggling and you're going, oh my God, this is so scary, what am I going to do? It's going to be really hard for your muscles to relax. Cool? So that might mean you should grab a stool to maybe elevate your hands. Maybe you want some extra cushions because maybe you want to have something nicer to collapse into when your muscles are so tired. We shouldn't be getting into any position where we collapse from exhaustion. It's not that type of workout. But if that's what you're nervous about and that's going to help you feel a little bit more secure, then grab everything you need. Cool? All right, let's get into some side splits. I don't know if this is going to fit. We're going to start by opening up our legs decently wide. It doesn't have to be crazy, and it definitely should not hurt at the hips. Okay? From here, we are going to fold forward. Bring the belly button down towards the ground. This looks kind of like a pancake. That is absolutely correct. From here, we're going to try our best to put our hands down. If you got long legs, you don't have quite enough flexibility, when you're folded forward into this position, you should be able to get much deeper into your stretch compared to when you were standing. And that's because we've rotated the orientation of our hips and the relationship with the legs. If that sounds really confusing, I'll explain again in just a second. From here, if you want, you can be using some yoga blocks. You can use a little bit of a stool to help you with this position. We want to externally rotate the legs. I'm going to scoot over here so you can see what's going on with this leg. And I apologize for being so close to the camera today. For this stretch, we are trying to externally rotate the leg. And what that means is your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. And they're happening on both legs. I don't think there's any point in adjusting the camera because the door frame has my other leg cut off. So we're fine. From here, we're trying to scoot our hands back and opening up those legs a little bit further. And we're trying to do a little wiggle from side to side to get into a deeper side split position. And that's it. That's the side split. That's the best we're going to get. And what we're holding for the next 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Remember, the toes are pointing up, the heel is down. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, lean forward. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs slightly further or slightly closer together. Come back into something that looks kind of like a standing position. You can try to rotate your toes and your heels together, in and out and in and out, until you come back into standing. What we're going to do next is we're going to try our best to undo the tension that we just put into our legs and into our hips. What I recommend you do is flick your legs to start. I want you to imagine you just got out of the swimming pool, got out of a body of water, a jacuzzi, and you want to harass your friends a little bit. So you're flicking water at their faces, right? To get it to reach as far as possible, to get the water to fly as high as possible, you got to whip your leg out. And when you're whipping that leg, your muscles are relaxed, your calves are relaxed, your toes are relaxed. You're going whoosh, whoosh, right? So we want to take that general motion, and I want you to keep on going, keep on flicking, and then maybe as you get more comfortable with that, let your leg relax a little bit more. And drop the knee. Let that flop lean to one side so it's easier for your legs to shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And that is how we're starting to loosen up those legs. We're going to do the other side. Let's go. Flick the water off of your friends or into your friends' faces. And as you get more comfortable, shake, 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 relax, and let the legs chill out. Usually 5 to 10 seconds is plenty. I demonstrate for way longer than that, and I try to break it down a little bit more basic so that everybody can get in and start doing the shaky shakes. From here, we're going to do a little bit of focus on the hips, because when they're holding up your legs in that kind of position, these muscles are often really tense. So what I want you to do is I want you to put all your weight into one side of your body. I want you to drop the ball of your foot, maybe the big toe down only. There's no weight in this leg. All the weight is here. And I want you to slowly open and close that leg. If you've done some exercises sort of like clamshells, this is that, except you're doing with very little resistance. The goal here is just to introduce a little bit of movement at the hip for these muscles. Let them relax a little bit. And if you want to turn it into a little dance, make it fun, make it enjoyable, go ahead. Do a little dance. When you get more comfortable with this movement and you really figure out how to use the different muscles to move your leg at your will, you can even do this without your toes attached to the ground. You can do this without your knee bent. You can do this leaning to the side, and you can add that shake into the leg and help your whole leg relax when you're doing the kiki things from earlier, combining all of it together. You don't have to figure this out on day one. It takes a little bit of skill, takes a little bit of time. Once you get the muscle memory and the stuff figured out, it'll come. So I'm just showing you that's capable. And what's next? From here, we're going to switch to the other side. Again, all the weight is in one leg, little to no weight on the other side. We're opening, we're closing, we're opening, we're closing, we're turning into a dance move. We're having fun. And again, as you get more skilled, you can start doing all sorts of things. You can have your toes out to the side and you can shake like this. You might notice my quads are just flopping all over the place. That is a sign that my quads are very relaxed. And that's what we want. We want our muscles to be chilled out, relaxed, no tension, so that we can get into the deepest possible side split. Cool? Side split number 2. Whew. I think that's it. Let's go. Let's get into side split number 2. We're opening up the legs, folding forward, putting our hands down if possible. If you can't quite reach, having a stool, something stable that you can lean into might help, but be careful. If it's kind of small, if it's kind of lightweight, and you're trying to sit backwards, that thing might fall, or that thing might not be able to support you. And if you try to grab onto it, everything will just come with you. All right. So if you're using a little bit of hand support here, make sure you're leaning forward into it. All right. From here, we are going to externally rotate the legs. I'm going to scoot back over here so you can see this one foot, but you're doing it on both legs. From here, we're externally rotating. That means the heel is down, the toe is up, and the knee is pointing up. All right. This rotates the thigh bone, so it gets out of a way of some of the stuff going on in the pelvis, and that lets you get into a deeper side split stretch. From here, we're walking our hands back. We're doing a little wiggle. We're trying to get as deep as we can into this stretch. And that's it. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Slowly bring your legs together. You can try to do something that looks like a heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Oh, until you're all the way up. That is not the easiest way to get up. Usually, when I have a little bit more space and have a little bit more distance from the camera, I recommend you crawl your hands forward until you get into something like this. And you slowly just bring your legs in, and then you kind of just kneel and recover from there. But I don't got the space for that, so we gotta make do with what we got. From here, we've just done 2 of our side splits. We got 1 more to do, and that means in between we gotta shake it out. So for everybody just joining in, remember we're flicking water at our friends' faces after we get out of the swimming pool, after we get out of the jacuzzi. I don't know what types of water you like to hang out in. Flicking water into their faces, and when you're doing that flick, whoosh, you're whipping that leg, right? All of the effort is into relaxing that leg so it can whip out as fast and hard as possible. So you can send that water flying into your enemy's face or your friend's face. We want to take that principle of relaxation, that whippiness, and slowly just make it a casual whippiness. Casual, floppy, 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 floppy. Your ankles should be relaxed. Maybe they go all sorts of different directions. Maybe your calves are shaking all over the place. That is good. And let's do the other side. Whip, 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 whip. And as you get more comfortable with that, relax the leg, let it hang a little bit lower, maybe lean to one side so that you don't have to work as hard lifting that leg while you shake it out. And that is our little leg shaky things. That needs a better name. From here, we're going to do a little bit of that hip stuff we just did. We're going to hang out with all our muscles on one side, rotate in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. I think I said rotate with all of our muscles on one side. I meant stand with all of your weight on one side so that there's no weight on this leg, and then you can rotate in and out and do a little dance. If you want, you can make this fun. You can turn this into Stanky Leg Junior. That will do it. We're just trying to relax the muscles in the hip right now. So if you want to make this fun, you want to turn this into more of a dance move, go for it to make it more fun. Stretching is a lot of suffering on the floor. So if you can make it happier, entertaining, easy for yourself by dancing, I'm all for it. All right, those are our hips. Those are the legs. Remember, if you take that hip rotation and you start doing it off the ground and you relax the muscles a little bit, it starts looking like a wiggle. Your quads can fly around. You don't have to be there yet, but you can work towards that direction. Cool? From here, I think it's time to get into our third and final side split. So let's go. Open up the legs decently wide. Remember, there should be no pain in the hips. If you're experiencing pain, you can bring your feet in a little bit, reduce that angle, fold forward, put your hands down, and sink as deep into that stretch as possible. When you're folded forward and you're looking down at the ground, your chest is towards the ground. This is basically the same position as when we rotate our legs and our heel is down, our toes are up and knees are up, and we're trying to sit up straight, right? From this position, if we rotated forward and we kept everything locked in position, we'd be in this position with our hands down. So when I say externally rotate the leg, is basically to maintain the same position as we have with our hands on the ground. But when we rotate, we take some of that body weight and we start putting it into the legs instead of having it in our arms. And that's the advantage of externally rotating the legs and sitting up a little bit higher. Cool? Hope that makes sense, because that's it. This is the third and final side split stretch. Do a little wiggle from side to side. Get a little bit deeper. See if you can chill in that position. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. If you remember, we did the standing pancake a little bit earlier, or the seated pancake earlier. If you fold forward and try to bring this belly button down towards the ground while your toes are pointed up, this is still a pancake. You're basically there. So this is a valuable position because you can do any number of stretches from here. And you can try it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Oh, bring your legs in. If you're super tired, that's okay. That's normal. We just did 3 rounds of 30 seconds of side splits. And if that isn't tiring, that'd be crazy. From here, do your best to chill, relax for a second, and come back into standing. We're going to shake it out one last time. Get ready. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. If you're feeling a little bit more confident with adding in the hip rotation into the shakes, add that in. If you're not, that's okay. We got plenty of time for it. Keep on shaking, wiggling, relaxing those leg muscles. Do a little dance. If you're still not sure how to get into this position, again, you're putting all of your weight into one leg. This leg over here that's going to be doing the wiggling and the dancing is just gently coming down to the ground for a little bit of stability. And we're bringing the knee in and out and in. And I don't even know if I'm saying the right directions at the same time. In and out, in and out. And we're just giving a little bit of movement to let the muscles chill and relax. And the more chill and the more relaxed, the easier, faster you can start moving through that range of motion. Once your muscles are chilled out and relaxed, if you want, you can add in some very focused joint range of motion work. We're going to hop into something that looks like 20% of a squat. We're going to do the same thing. Most of the weight is in this leg. Some little bit of residual weight is here. And we're trying really hard to bring our knee in and out. Notice how nothing else in the body is really moving. All of the movement is coming from where this thigh bone connects to your hip socket. And open up as wide as you can. Rotate and bring your knee in as far as you can. And 3, 4, 5 of these is fine. This isn't about speed and relaxation anymore. This is about maximum range of motion. So you can incorporate this at any point. We're going to do the other side. And when I say any point, is because you can relax afterwards, right? When you're doing this and you're really trying to get maximum range of motion, you're contracting your muscles and you're opening up as much as you can. Those muscles are going to get tight. They're going to feel a lot of tension again, and you're the one doing it. So if you feel tight, you can always shake it out, do a little dance, make it a little bit more chill. Cool. That is all we're going to do to relax our hips, relax our legs. We're going to do a couple of quick joint checks real fast to make sure everything is working smoothly in your body. I think with the shaking, you should know, because the shaking is kind of a little bit ballistic, a little violent sometimes. And if something is getting pulled or something is feeling off, you should be able to tell. But let's do some joint checks anyway. We're going to start with some hip circles. Usually, after side splits, I feel a stretch here in the side of the glute, in the side of the hip. And when I do the hip circles, I like to give a couple extra seconds on either side and hang out there. If you have that, go ahead, give it some love. If you got something else, go ahead, give that some love. Once you're done with those, we're going to do 1 or 2 high knees. You'll know if those are not feeling so good immediately, so you don't have to do very many to find out. And then from here, I'm going to pop into a deep squat. I want you to fold really far forward. Try to relax in that position. Do a little wiggle at your hips. From here, I want you to bring your knees forward, as far forward as you can. Feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon, in your calves. And I want you to try your best to do a little bit of a calf raise. If it's a little wobbly, if it's a little unstable, and that's probably normal for you, that's fine. If you're unable to do it and you feel like that's strange, you might want to slowly go through all of your body parts, give it another check. If you're able to do those calf raises, you're able to come out of the squat pretty normally without pain, everything's feeling good, then all of the main muscle patterns, all the main movement patterns that you use on a day-to-day basis should be working pretty good. So you can always add in other stuff to test your movement. I like to play hacky sack with my imaginary hacky sack for a little bit because I know the sides of my glutes tend to be a little bit tense. And that's it. That's all we got. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the live. We're coming in from a slightly different setting and with new restrictions. Yesterday we were in a park because that's where I was. And now we have a tiny Airbnb. So I want to remind you that what we do here is 60 minutes-ish of live side split stretch, and we do this every single day to practice the number one quality, consistency. If I can pull this off in a random playground, in a park, and a random tiny Airbnb, then you can also get some workouts in when you can. All right? We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I know you guys have been interacting in the chat. I'm kind of stuck in this doorway, so I have not been looking at the chat. Travel Doxy says, I want some pizza now. That's a great idea. I want some pizza. Okay. And I try to bring good vibes to the internet so that you guys have a little bit more fun, enjoy the workout a little bit more, suffer a little bit less, because, stretching is not comfortable. It's not particularly fun. And I mean, it can be fun if you're making progress, right? But most of the time when you're just warming up and you're like, I just need to get into a position where I can even begin to stretch, then making it a little bit more fun is a little bit helpful, right? Okay, cool. That's it. That's everything. Hope you had fun. Hope you got the workout in. Hope you hit follow. Hope you hit subscribe because we do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is about exactly an hour ago. So hope to see you again soon. I'm going to answer some Q&A, check out the chat to see what I've missed, respond to feedback about things. And I'll be at our phones, the phones. Oh, what time is it? It is 9. Oh, actually, it's 12 now where I'm at. So it's noon. Does the workout still count if you eat the pizza? Okay, I think this is a great question. And the reason why I think it's a great question is because I think exercise, especially this type of mobility work, is a lot more about moving well and being able to do cool things with your body, and is not as related to weight loss, right? So I don't think I don't enjoy treating workouts and eating food as sort of cancel outable, because I tried my best not to make the workouts feel even more burdensome because I'm trying to cancel out delicious food. But if that works for you, that's cool. This ain't cardio. It's not cardio. There is a little tiny bit of intensity at the very beginning, right? Where we're trying to warm up the muscles. And so we're doing a couple of reps of things here and there, and we're shaking and we're moving. There's muscles getting used. And we're trying to get our heart rate up and our muscles warmed up so that the stretches are a little bit more impactful. Yeah, I can't imagine the stretches burn that many calories. But I think if you enjoy the food and you eat it in moderation, no matter what it is, if it makes sense, it ends up still making sense, right? So yeah, that's all I got. But I would imagine our workout doesn't burn that many calories. So if you're really, really going, what have I earned? It's not a great mindset to be in because we spent an hour and you might not have earned that much of a pizza. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna keep on scrolling back. I walked a mile to 30. Oh, I walked a mile to 30 minutes of workout, but that pizza makes it feel like it doesn't count. Oh, okay. So there's just a whole bunch of conversation that I did not see. That's my bad. Hold on. It's been an hour and change. So TikTok is making me fill out a puzzle to make sure I'm not a robot and I'm not wasting their resources of online hosting videos. Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch going on about this pizza. Hold on. Oh, what? Sorry, I'm scrolling really far back so I can get the whole conversation or an idea of what the whole conversation was about. And, ooh, Okay, I think I found the pizza comment. The first pizza comment. Smiling faces. Wonderful life. Oh, V Wright says wonderful life. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where'd the pizza comment go? None of these people eat pizza, I'm sure of it. Saint Saya says, is breathing important? Breathing is very important. I'm going to finish the pizza comment before we move on into breathing. None of these people eat pizza, I'm sure of it. I love pizza. And I love the crust, actually. I don't know why this is, but even though the crust is the least exciting part of the pizza and it's usually tough and crunchy, I like to finish it. I don't know if this is like from elementary school where my teachers would reward like good behavior or like doing well in class, whatever, with like little pizza parties, and then they'd slice them into tiny, 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 tiny slices that you need to eat like 3 of anyway, just to make you feel like you had 3 slices versus 1.5 slices. Anyways, I think from those pizza parties where it felt like we were like really limited to our pizza consumption because all that money was coming out of my teacher's pocket, and I understand the struggles. I have come to love crust. And I don't know if if I had to think about it logically and was like, does crust taste good? No, probably not. But something psychologically makes me go, I have to finish the crust. There is no crust that is left behind. And so, where am I going with this? I love pizza, and I think you should absolutely enjoy the pizza when you can. And like I said earlier, I don't think for our live specifically for this thing, the main goal should be trying to figure out if you've earned a pizza, right? Because what you're working for is a little bit differently, and this is a little bit different. And I haven't said this enough in this particular live because I was trying to figure out how to use the bed as a prop for side splits. Our main goal is to practice consistency. You can have the best plan ever, you can have the best diet ever, but if you can't follow the plan, if you can't follow the diet, it's going to be really hard to get the benefits from it, right? So the number one quality that we care about is consistency, and I try to demonstrate it by showing up from these places that are not particularly suited for a really good workout. Space is a little bit cramped, it's not perfect, I'm still here. The timing isn't good, I'm in the middle of a park because I have other things to do, I still show up. And I hope that that type of energy helps you to get a little bit more of a workout, and when you can, to take care of the things that matter. For some of us on the live, maybe we're not eating that much pizza, and that's also okay if that's a conscious choice and you're making it because you're an adult, you're a big boy, you can do whatever you want. But most of what we're doing is focused on some side splits and on hip mobility, right? So this is mostly about better movement. And so, what we're focused on isn't as much about the weight loss component of exercise because realistically, we're not doing that much for weight loss. We're conditioning some of the joints, we're conditioning some of the muscles, conditioning some of the tendons, maybe getting some of this fascia to chill out a little bit, and probably not. And it's just not that type of show. Okay. Somebody asked, is breathing important? Breathing is actually super important. Breathing is important because it helps you relax, right? Like from fundamentally, when you're anxious and you're suddenly hyperventilating, maybe you don't hyperventilate, but you might know that when people hyperventilate and they're going, sends a lot of oxygen into the brain. I actually don't know what the mechanic behind hyperventilating is, so I'm going to stop right there. But when people are hyperventilating and they're super anxious, that anxiety causes your whole body to start tightening up and you start getting really freaked out. Right? That is not what we want to happen. So controlling the breath, taking breath at the right moments is super helpful. If you care mostly about strength training, for example, if you exhale as you're doing the hard part of the movement, for example, in a push-up, if you start timing your breaths so that the inhale is while you're going down, and you go on the exhale, you'll likely find that you'll be a lot stronger on the movement and you'll have a little bit more endurance on that movement. This generally applies to most exercises. If you exhale when you're trying to do something, it tends to let you be a little bit stronger. But in terms of stretching, right, and relaxation, if you can control and continue to have calm breaths, it helps you to relax. If you're not breathing enough and you're getting really tense and you're holding your breath in, that's going to create tension too. So if you go on either end of the spectrum, if you breathe way too much, and it's going to be really hard to breathe way too much intentionally, you'll get a little bit tense on one end. If you breathe way too little, you also get really tense, but in the struggling I can't breathe way, right? So breath is very important to control. I only highlighted sort of the extremes on either end, but I hope that gives a little bit of context. For a lot of these stretches, or a lot of these versions of stretches, for example, like the standing pancake, right? If you try to take a really big breath and try to be super relaxed, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to actually be able to take that breath. Sometimes you have to hold some tension in your muscles, in your chest, in your core to be able to hang out in a position. And so you can only take pretty small breaths because you have to maintain tension in your core. And this is probably a little bit more advanced of a concept. And I'm trying to think of a specific reasonable example most people would understand why you'd be holding tension and taking shallow breaths. Oh, okay, got it. There is a version of stretching called PNF stretching, and it's basically where you contract your muscles a ton and you trigger a response from your body where it's basically going, oh, we don't have to keep them from stretching. We don't have to get them to stop going longer because they're already contracting the muscle. And probably should have started that with, a lot of the time when you get stuck initially in a stretch is because of something called the stretch reflex. And that's what happens when you're getting into a position that your body doesn't think you're capable of handling, whether you're not strong enough to get in and out of that position safely, you just don't do it very often. Some combination of factors causes a stretch reflex. Your brain just goes, nope, that is not safe. We're not letting you go any further. And that is typically, when you're first starting, the main thing that you're fighting against. Your whole body, mostly the muscle that you're stretching, is going to get a little bit tighter. It's going to keep you from getting deeper into your stretch. One of the ways to fight this is to actually contract the muscle that's getting stretched. And when you're contracting the muscle and you're flexing that muscle, the brain goes, oh, we don't have to work as hard trying to keep the muscle from going further because the muscle is already contracting. And when you're doing this, you're holding steady tension, you're holding steady pressure, right? And when you're doing that, it's much harder to have a really relaxed, full breath. Your core is probably engaged. You're probably a little bit more tense because you're trying to hold this stretch and you're starting to contract that muscle. And in order to have the breath, in order to have enough oxygen, enough air to keep going, you have to take small, shallow breaths while maintaining the tension in your core. So this is a moment where you're taking small, shallow breaths, and you're taking a little bit more frequency because you still need a certain volume of air to come in and out through your lungs. And when you're ready to get out of that PNF stretch, typically, when you stop contracting, your muscles will give you a little bit more range of motion, and you can exhale and try to relax as much as possible and see if you can get just a little bit deeper into the stretch. Usually this is a little bit painful, and we don't work this into our normal show because it's a pain to get out of. Oh, okay. So I hope that was a lot of information about why breathing is important, and you're here for it. Where are we going with this? Jesus or Jesus asks, are you able to do the full splits? No, I am not able to do the full splits, and that is part of the reason why this live exists. I've wanted to do the splits for a really long time. For a little bit of time in high school, took some dance classes, and some really flexible people were obviously in that dance class, and I was like, damn, that's sick. I want to be able to do that. And then for like another 15 years, I said that to myself like every year, New Year's resolution. And guess what? I still don't have them. So I figured around this time last year, a little bit earlier than that, I was like, okay, I gotta get my act together and focus. So that eventually evolved into me still, focusing on consistency and building out some version of this live. This live originally started on Instagram, so it wasn't quite like this. But yeah, stretching every single day, practicing consistency, working my way towards some side splits. One of the things I've noticed is if I do a really intense, advanced side split stretch or stretching workout, and I do that, then I'm gonna be stiff and sore and like achy for like 2 or 3 days at a time. And that does not help me practice consistency. Typically, I do like one of those workouts, and then all of a sudden, I don't want to continue. Um, and then I take a couple of days off, and then those couple of days turn into a long time. I am not a naturally flexible person. It's taken me a really long time to get as deep as I have already gotten. And I think that makes the stretching and the consistency even more important. So if you feel the same way and you're like, oh, this person is just naturally flexible, I've been doing this workout essentially some version of it. Maybe the earlier versions are actually easier and shorter for over a year and change. And if you hop onto Instagram, my account is the same at splits on the side. You can see where that starting point was. It won't be on YouTube or TikTok because I didn't start YouTube or TikTok as the first platform. I think these accounts started 5 months ago, maybe at this point, 6 months. So you can see where I'm at 6 months ago as well. Yeah, that's I think all I got on the topic. Ugh. What else we got? Coach sends a wave. Hi, coach. You've definitely made a lot of progress. Oh, thanks. Trouble with Roxy. Jesus asked, "Is that your goal?" I think yes. It'd be nice to have the side splits, but I mean, over the last year, it's sort of evolved into the side splits is a combination of a lot of different types of hip mobility, right? I would love to be able to do a really good pancake where I can bring my chest to the ground and fold really far forward in that open leg position. Um, I have really tight hamstrings, and that's part of the reason why we do so much hamstring work in the live. We start with the elephant walks right at the beginning, and I don't know if you've been on since the very beginning, so I'll demonstrate as we talk. The elephant walks look kind of like this. We're getting into an L shape, and then we're bending one knee, bending the other, bending one knee, bending the other, and we're trying to bring our belly button down the whole time. That's to help warm up and loosen up the low back and the hamstrings. Then we do an actual hamstring stretch, and then we do the seated pancake or the standing pancake, which as long as you're folding forward and your hips are going that way, your hamstrings are getting a really intense stretch. But the seated pancake or the standing pancake, excuse me, is really intense because you're holding your whole entire body weight up while you're trying really hard to squish and squeeze yourself into a crazy deep position. And I have tight hamstrings. I've always had tight hamstrings. If I'm not stretched and I'm not warmed up, I'm still struggling to sit up straight in this kind of position. I'm slouching and I want to fall backwards a lot, right? Like if I'm conscious of what I'm doing, it's not so bad. And if I'm conscious and thinking about it, I can fold forward. But for 30 years, my natural position in this position was kind of like this, unable to bring my hips forward far enough so that I can actually sit here comfortably. And typically something a little bit like this. So the hips are pointing back, the back is curving and arching, my head is leaning forward to help counterbalance, and then my core, my abs are flexing slowly until I can't hold anymore, and then I just can't sit in this position, right? Like this is how most people are, because we don't spend much time sitting on the floor. So I'm not like a rare inflexible person. I'm just saying that that was my starting point. My starting point was I can barely sit on the floor and hang out for any amount of time. And now I'm a little bit better. I'm making some progress. I can fold a lot further. It takes some effort, it takes some work. Like it's not like I'm just going, ooh, yes, just gently let me flop over into a super stretchy looking position. I kind of like have to grab my leg and I could, pull it with manual power into a closer position. That's where I'm at. The whole show exists because I was like, man, my hips kind of suck. I'm not particularly weak, right? I can do cool things like hang out and move pretty well, mostly with my upper body. My legs were pretty strong, but my hip mobility and getting into these low squishy positions and being able to do stuff off the floor was not a particularly strong skill set. And so that's what I've been working on, slowly trying to get my hips a little looser, move a little bit better. And this is where I'm at now. We've created a show doing the stretchy workouts, the mobility workouts, trying to get to have better movement, to have more stability, to have the ability to do cooler things on the ground. And the side splits is just sort of like a super combination of all the things, right? We kind of talked about this at the end of the live when we were introducing the side splits. All the other stretches, you basically have to do a little bit of in the side splits. And so if you have to think about hip mobility in a couple of skills, the front split, the side split, an advanced pigeon, advanced pancake pretty much gets you all of the folding and angles that you can hit at a pretty extreme level. And it's like a cool goal to have because you just kind of go, okay, done, checked. Everything else I probably don't have to worry so much about because we're way beyond what normal people need. Oh, okay. Let me see what else we got. Brandon Campbell says, "You're the best, buddy. This is important work." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I needed it for years and years. Like I said earlier, I couldn't stay consistent. It was so hard, and hopefully, because of the live, a couple other people are staying a little bit more consistent, making some progress towards their hip mobility goals. If this is just a workout for you, that's awesome too. There's nothing wrong with that. Hip mobility is something I care about. And if you join in, you develop some hip mobility, you realize squatting on the floor, being able to pick up kids from the ground, being able to wrestle with your nieces, nephews, babies, whoever, is something that you would like to be able to do more of, then these are good workouts for that. Other than that, for normal people, I don't know how much more hip mobility you really realistically need. If you spend your whole day sitting in a chair, you don't need that much more. But lack of hip mobility causes a lot of aches and pains. So developing some skill, developing some strength, moving in other positions helps you to avoid some of that pain in the low back, in your glutes, your hamstrings. And when those things, the most important moving section of your body, is a little bit messed up, everything else starts going with it because everything else has to compensate for the tightness somewhere else in your body. Cool? All right. I think with that, I am probably done with the chat. I'm going to scroll real quick to the front to make sure I didn't miss anything from way early. I don't imagine most people who sent the early messages are still on, but maybe they are. And I'll take a chance to respond. Karma says, breath is so crucial. Absolutely. Karma is cramping. Oop, I accidentally invited somebody while scrolling. Whoops. Che sent a rose. Fran sent a rose. Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. I hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A at the end. If you are just joining in and you're like, who's this guy talking on the floor, then you missed the whole entire workout. We did 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, make stretching a little bit more fun, make it part of your schedule, make it a part of your life, so that it's just something that you do and you get some better movement out of it, plus a little bit of a workout. So if that sounds fun, if that sounds like something you want to do more of, make sure to hit subscribe, hit follow, keep coming back because we do this live at 9 p.m. every day Eastern time. That, if you're not in an Eastern time zone, you have no idea what that means for you. That is an hour and 22 minutes ago. That's it. That's everything. Okay, I'm scrolling some more, making sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. V-Right said, wonderful live. We got smiley faces and emojis. And boom. Okay, I think I've covered everything. I'm going to scroll back down to the very bottom to make sure I didn't miss anything that just came in. Nope. Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm wrapping up for today. Hope to see you again in a little bit, and we can work on some hip mobility and some side splits together. Goodbye. Close. And now.